Good morning, everyone, and today I'm excited to share with you that we are going live with Mckenzie Cooper. On Instagram, she's known as the Fit Flutist, and we recently interviewed her on our podcast, the Tuned and Strong podcast. FYI, Levi is demanding attention right now, which is not helpful. So she's going to be joining us here in just a second, and dude, come on. So she recently was on our podcast, and we we talked about all kinds of things that are bothering her right now and that she's having to go through as a senior in college, and we're about to go through that. Here she is, and we'll just let her know what's going on. Mckenzie, I see you.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm dealing with my cat who's being ridiculous, but other than that, so
Actually, my cat is over here trying to eat a stink bug, so I feel you on that.
see, mine caught a vole this morning, the other one, and he just loves to eat cicadas, which are disgusting.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. So give us an update on you. So let's tell people who you are in case they don't know you.
So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Mckenzie Cooper. I was a flute performance major at YSU, studied there for 4 years, and during my last semester when I was supposed to graduate, I came down with what doctors first thought was cubital tunnel syndrome, which is a compression of the ulnar nerve in your elbow. It happened overnight while I was sleeping, and I woke up, my entire hand was numb. And then the feeling came back in all of my hand except for these two fingers and this part of my hand. So I've been dealing with muscle weakness and numbness ever since January. And we tried bracing, we tried physical therapy, we tried steroid pack. We tried a whole bunch of different things, and it's not working. So now I'm going to go see a vascular surgeon here in, I think, 2 weeks to get checked out for thoracic outlet syndrome. Which is a compression of nerves or veins in between your collarbone and your ribs. So fingers crossed that they find something, because I have not seen really any improvement in symptoms since January, even with everything that we've been doing. And it's really affected my life because my, I guess, two main passions in life are playing flute and weightlifting. And so I haven't really been able to do either of those to the extent that I used to, so it's been really difficult trying to adjust life to that. But I'm hopeful that we can find some answers soon and hopefully get me graduated soon, because the only reason I don't have my degree is because I can't practice enough for my senior recital. My hand just goes numb. So yeah, it's really frustrating.
And I know you're not the only one dealing with that. I mean, I've heard of all kinds of musicians dealing with thoracic outlet. Funny story that, okay, apparently, so I was messing around with filters. Apparently this one has a butterfly. That one's terrible. Let me go back to normal. Anyway, so the reason Music Strong was founded was I was at a convention in the Florida Flute Convention, and a lady came up to me asking if I did workshops. And she said, my entire arm goes numb when I play, blah, blah. It turns out she had thoracic outlet syndrome. And that was the first time I'd ever heard of it. So I started really digging into it. Like, what is this? What's going on? Why? And it's not fun. I mean, yeah. Do you end up having numbness in all of your fingers in your hand or whatever? Or is it still just pretty localized?
Just these two, just the ulnar nerve is the one that I've been dealing with.
Got it. So, yeah. So what kind of treatments have you tried so far?
So the first thing they did was they put me on a steroid pack for like 10 days to hopefully reduce inflammation. It didn't work. They also put me on some vitamin supplements to see if that would help regrow the nerves. Didn't work. I wore a brace at night, which kept me from bending my elbow pretty much any further than this. I wore that for about 4.5 months. It didn't help. We did physical therapy. We did nerve glide exercises. We did grip strength exercises. We did all kinds of neck stretches, that kind of thing. It didn't help. My grip strength is still about the same as the first time I went and got tested at physical therapy. So we've tried all of that, and the doctors are hesitant to operate because I'm young and they don't want to have any, complications from surgery, especially as a musician. So as much as I would like this to just, go in and get whatever you need to get done, there are risks to that. So I have to be careful.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, what was kind of the defining factor where you figured out it wasn't cubital tunnel, it was thoracic outlet?
So I guess it's hard to really, I don't have typical presenting symptoms in either cubital tunnel or thoracic outlet. The biggest thing that doctors were surprised with is that I've never had any kind of pain other than in this part of my hand. I've had a little bit of cold sensitivity, but that's it. There's never been any, shocks or soreness or any specific point where I felt I might have damaged something. It happened overnight, and I am a stomach sleeper. I have tried so many times to just fix that issue, but I end up on my stomach. And when I woke up with the issue, I was laying on my stomach with my arm like this or like this. I don't remember exactly. But they think that because my elbow was bent for so long, that's why they thought it was in my elbow. But they have this test where they hold your arm up and they tap your ulnar nerve. And they do that for like 30 to 60 seconds. And you should, if you have cubital tunnel, you'll usually feel shocks go up your arm into your fingers. And I don't. If anything, it's very, very subtle. And I did an EMG nerve test, and that came back completely normal, which isn't unheard of with cubital tunnel. But since all of the other tests, like they would have me hold my arm above my head, or they'd have me bend my elbow with my wrist bent. And the more you bend your elbow, the worse it should get. Or if you lean on something, the worse it should get. But my symptoms don't really change with anything. So that's why after 7 months, my first nerve doctor decided to send me to a vascular surgeon.
Got it. Well, that doesn't work. Sorry. I'm trying to put some filters and it's not happening. So, right. So the vascular surgeon was the one who came up with the thoracic outlet.
Actually, it was my first nerve doctor. I haven't been able to see the vascular surgeon yet.
Okay.
But the first nerve doctor I saw doesn't actually specialize in thoracic outlet, and it's a little harder to get treatment for that. So I had to go to someone specific. So I'll be seeing him in about 2 weeks, and we're going to do an ultrasound while I'm there to check everything out.
Perfect. So some of the other things that we were talking about on our podcast, which this is kind of a teaser for that to get people to like, oh, yay, hey, this is coming up. We were also talking about you're a senior, and as soon as you graduate, the question is, well, now what? So do you have any more answers to that question?
So my original plan was to go straight into grad school for performance or conducting or both or whatever. Still haven't exactly decided on that one yet. I'm leaning more towards performance, which is why it's so important that I have these fingers able to play. So right now I am currently studying to get my NASM personal training certification. Should have that by November. I also got 2 specializations, one in corrective exercise, which was inspired by you, and the other one is performance enhancement. So I'm really excited to get those and hopefully start working in a gym here soon. I just got a job at a grocery store for the time being, just to supplement some kind of income. So I'm busy, kitty. She's chirping at me. But I still want to go to grad school. It's just I can't apply until I officially get my degree. I can't officially get my degree until I do that recital unless something else changes. So I have to just kind of wait for now.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, I totally get that. And it's frustrating, but at least you have alternative, and not even just alternative, but you have other ideas on how you can fuse your love of music with fitness, kind of like I did. I'm super glad to see that because there's just not enough of us around, I mean, and we also talk about this on the podcast, how music schools really, they're getting better, but largely they do us musicians who are getting performance degrees, they do us a disservice because they're not setting us up for entrepreneurialism, or they're not setting us up for a job in the real world. They're just teaching us these things that okay, that'll make you a great flute player, but what about the rest of it, right? So at least you're already on that path. I was several years after the fact, like, well, now what? Trying to figure out what on earth am I going to do. So you're already ahead there, which is fantastic. So is there anything like else that you want to tell people, whether it comes to, we talk a whole lot about other things, and that's why we call it invisible injuries, because nerve issues are something that you can't really see. And by all intents and purposes, Mckenzie here looks fine. Just because you look fine doesn't mean you are fine. And so take it with a grain of salt when you're dealing with anybody that is saying they're injured and they look okay. That doesn't mean you can see what's going on. So is there anything else that you'd like to tell anybody when it comes to what you're dealing with as a flute player, with your injuries, or with weightlifting, or anything at all?
The only thing I could think of right off the top of my head is I know we talked about a little bit about endometriosis and how I was getting surgery to see if I had it. I would like to give a little update is that I do have it, and they removed what they did find. There wasn't a lot, but it was there. And they also did a procedure called a perisacral neurectomy, which is there's a bundle of nerves that its sole purpose is to transmit pain from the uterus to the brain. They took that out. And most people, when they have that procedure done, they see an improvement in pain, and my pain levels had basically been halved. So when, the first day or two of my cycle before, I would have been, hardly able to walk, not able to eat. My pain levels would have probably been in an 8 or an 8.5. Now they're at maximum at a 4. And so I can get up and walk around and do normal person things now. So I am healed and recovered and doing really well from that surgery. And I am super grateful to my surgeon, Dr. Lee, who did a great job. And yeah, that's the update on that. So I'm feeling good.
Oh, that's fantastic. Congratulations. I know endometriosis is definitely something else we talked about. And it's another one of those invisible injuries that women have to deal with. And it's funny. I think you think about when that was first and not when it was first diagnosed, but a long time ago, like, I don't know, 1800s, and people just thought of women as being hysterical or, all these other crazy things. I'm like, no, you're just a dude and you don't have this, so you don't get it. So super glad to hear that you've gotten some relief there and you have some answers going forward as well. So thank you for joining us today. I'm really excited to have your episode drop here really soon, and we're going to share it everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, it's already up on YouTube. You can check that out now. And y'all go follow Mckenzie, right? Where would you prefer for them to follow you on Instagram? Because I know you have a couple.
So my personal Instagram is, I think it's Mckenzie, McKenzie _417. And then my, I guess, professional account right now is The Fit Flutist. I don't have too many posts on there right now, but I am working on getting some of my recital rep up from last December when I did my junior recital. So hopefully I'll have some more content there coming soon.
That's exciting. And on Facebook, where is the best place for them to find you?
So I only have one Facebook account right now, and it is just my full name, Mckenzie Cooper.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining us, Mckenzie. We're excited to have you on the podcast. And y'all go check her out.
Thank you.
Bye.